What is up, everybody, and welcome to a spaceship. I'm on a spaceship. I'm a man on the internet. You have to believe me. On a real note, my name is King Noosme. I have not been saying my name in these last few videos, and I realized my name is kind of confusing. So my name is King Noosme. You can call me King Noosme. Hi, how are you? I've been on a little bit of a kick lately. I've been watching Disney movies. A lot. Why? I don't know. The thing is, I'm not watching movies I'm nostalgic for. I'm watching movies I haven't seen. If you want to check out the other Disney movie videos on my channel, that would be very cool and nice and awesome. But this one is one I haven't even heard of. See, I've heard of a lot of these movies, and that's why I started watching them. Like, for example, the Country Bears. I remember seeing it on TV, but I don't remember anything about it. And there's other Disney Channel movies that are very niche, I would say, like Luck of the Irish. That's not a lot of people know about that one. I know about that one. I know about a lot of them. I have never heard of Can of Worms. Have you? Write it in the comments. Are you done? Cool. Can of Worms is probably the weirdest Disney Channel movie I have ever seen. The movie starts off in a thunderstorm at a random kid's house. Who's the kid, you may ask? Mike Pillsbury. Now, Mike Pillsbury is a little weird, a little quirky. He believes he's an alien. Wholeheartedly, he believes he's an alien. And he's calling out to other aliens to come save him because Earth is, not good for him, I guess. He got a little bullied. Now, Mike is a nerd, typical nerd. He's a computer geek from the 90s, so you see in a few times in this movie him just saying random shit, and some of it doesn't make sense. He just says computer words, and people are like, yeah, I know some of those words. I understand most of the words he says. Some of the words don't exist. He just says them to sound smart. But he's also the typical Disney trope main character boy where he's nervous and he talks. Imagine how a nerd will talk. Nasally, kind of speaks really fast. Ben Shapiro-like, tries to sound smart, Yeah, that's him. But he's trying to send a message to aliens through this satellite that he built on his own. And he does this long rant about how the humans are bad and blah, 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 blah. And then the satellite gets struck by lightning and he mashes send on the little notepad thing, and a giant beam comes out of the sky. After that, we cut to 2 weeks before that happened. So we're inside this treehouse, and Mike Pillsbury is talking to this little boy, telling him a story about this alien race that got raided and killed and genocided. But not only is he telling this little kid this little kid believes that it actually happened. This little kid also believes Mike is an alien. Not only does Mike believe he's an alien, he has somehow convinced this little kid that he is an alien, and he's telling the kid the story of his alien people and how he survived. Mike is insane. He's literally crazy. As the story finishes, his friend calls him out on his bullshit and is like, you're human, just like everyone else. Why do you want to be alien anyways? And Mike's like, okay, yeah. Then his dad calls him out and he has to go to a football game. A nerd that plays football. That's always a good sign, right? First, we get to meet an important character. It's a cheerleader named Caitlyn Sandman. She's the love interest in this movie. We also get to meet the bully, who is on the same football team as Mike. His name is Scott Schneeber. So during this game, Mike intercepts the ball by accident, runs down the field, runs back down the field the wrong way, gets turned around, gets tackled, knocked out. And when he gets knocked out, he sees a spaceman floating in space. But it's not any spaceman, no. It's an alien spaceman who wants to kill him, apparently. Now, when I say Mike has nerd talk, this is the shit I mean.
How's your head?
You're inquiring about my welfare?
Who the fuck says inquiring? And welfare. Nobody. I don't think anybody ever said inquiring. I'm sure back in the 17th century, they probably would have bullied you if you said inquiring. Here's another example of him being a fucking nerd.
When interrupt occurs, control the computer's transfer to an interrupt handling subroutine process that's often stored in the system's ROM. Bioservice routine.
Are you sure?
Does a tesseract exist in 4 dimensions?
He's helping his sister pass a computer class because he's a computer nerd, and he pulls out shit like this. I'm a computer nerd. You're making us look bad. Making us look like nerds. I look like a nerd already. I got made fun of today for looking like a nerd. Last example of him being a nerd and annoying. Listen to what he says to his dad about his computer.
Mike, I just went from stocks to stockyards. What gives?
Oh, sorry. I needed the extra RAM for a little programming project. I'm using this new graphics card that I tweaked a bit, and now it just eats up memory like a gulper eel.
All right, so Mike's dad wanted to look at his stocks, okay? But when he opened it up, it showed a picture of a pig. And his dad's like, Mike, what happened to the computer? I'm trying to look at stocks and now I'm seeing a pig. And Mike is like,
well, I needed some extra RAM for a new graphics card that I got.
Oh, how is taking out RAM from his computer making him see a picture of a pig? Like I said, they just threw words together. They threw computer words together and hoped it was right. I think you guys get, I don't like Mike to an extent. I don't like the nerdy side of Mike. I'll shut up about it now. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Then we get a short little scene of Mike inside of a computer class. We get to see everybody interact in this scene for the first time. The bully picks on Mike and then goes and sits down in his seat. The cheerleader girl from earlier walks into the classroom. The bully offers her a seat. She says no. How do you say no to a jock? She sits next to the nerd. What? That's crazy. Not only does she sit next to Mike, but Mike has the typical like Disney Channel movie reaction where he's just like, oh, are you sure you're supposed to be sitting next to me? I'm just not like anybody else. I'm kind of weird. That's how he acts. He like looks at her and he's like, Now kids, this is a floppy disk. This is what they used in the 1800s to get things on computers. Scott uses the floppy disk to send Mike a little message. It's like, I'm in your brain and I'm coming to kill you or something like that. I don't care. So Mike decides he's going to get revenge and already coded up something to get revenge for this attack that he had. They have like a little Western standoff in the classroom. It's kind of weird. But instead of Mike's just getting sent straight to Scott, first the teacher gets a message from the principal, a little risque message, if I will say so myself. Once she leaves the classroom, then the real prank commences. It's just the butt of a pig and then it turns around, it's the bully. GG's. This kid had to code that in though. That's what bugs the shit out of me. He had to think ahead. He's always 4 steps ahead of his bully. Needless to say, Mike wins this battle. Mike is in the treehouse poisoning this little kid's brain, thinking aliens are real and stuff, when the cheerleader comes to visit him. Of course, Mike doesn't believe it at first, but it's true. She's here to see him. He goes up to his room and Caitlyn is in there waiting for him. She starts talking to him about how amazing all his little machines are in his room. And then she asks about a specific one and he says it's a transmitter. And listen to his explanation.
It's a transmitter. It takes digitalized data, right, through here, like anything from a computer, and it sends it out instantly. Zap.
Homeboy, you made a phone. That's a phone. He would be very good at marketing though. I was almost convinced. So Caitlyn's there to ask Mike if he will be the tech guy for the new school dance. See, she's the head decorator for the school dance and she wants this really cool high-tech light show thing. And he's the right guy for the job. And Mike has the balls to be like, are you sure I'm the right guy? Homie, you built a transmitter. You've built a whole satellite that talked to aliens. Yeah, you're the right guy. Mike and Caitlyn, they get a little alone time. They hang out a lot here in the next few minutes. They're getting the show ready. They got things to do. They got things to work on. After they build their concoction of a machine they have, Caitlyn starts getting a little flirty with Mike. She calls him an idiot. She flirts with him by being mean. She's one of those. She mentions that Mike tells stories and he's good at it. So why hasn't she ever heard a story before? And he's like, oh, that's just little kid stuff. I told to the little kids so they are entertained. She's like, well, I have some time. And he tells her another outlandish alien story. During his story, he gets interrupted by Scott. Fucking Scott. Scott comes in and asks Caitlyn if she wants to go out to eat with him and his friends. She says, sure, and offers Mike to come. And Scott's like, I didn't invite Mike. What the f? But by the end of the argument, Caitlyn actually chooses Mike's side and decides to stay there with him. And once Scott leaves, they go get food. It felt like they didn't know how to end the scene. So they're like, have them go get food. Hey! Scott doesn't like Mike stealing his girl. So Scott's gonna sabotage the Halloween dance show just to get back at him. So it's the day of the dance and they decide to finally reveal their machine, their beautiful machine that they crafted. The machine is so crazy it spins. That's it. It spins. All those wires and shit, just for it to spin. The lights flash and stuff too. Okay, I'll give him that. And you wanna know how the bully gets back at him? You wanna know his devious plan to get at him? He makes it spin backwards. Cool prank. But this prank was so bad and awful, it ruined Mike's life. So he ran to his satellite and he cried out for help to the aliens. Little does he know, his cry worked. The next day, we get to meet my favorite character and the only normal looking alien, Barnabas. Barnabas is a dog, but he has this like special necklace that helps him communicate with Mike. Oh yeah, and he can teleport, which is pretty cool. The only bad part about Barnabas is he's British. Mike's satellite thing opened up the Stargate, which told other aliens that Earth is now advanced enough to communicate with aliens. So Earth was a protected planet until he did that. Now it's unprotected and aliens can come and go as they please. Barnabas is there to help him because it was a distress call. He's saying Earth is a bad, terrible place, and he's here to take Mike away or help Mike find his way in Earth. On Earth. So Barnabas is there for a good reason. We soon learn that some aliens are there for not so great reasons. But Barnabas tells Mike that he's there to take him off the planet. So that was his plan all along. But Mike is not ready to leave Earth. Mike didn't actually believe aliens are real. He realizes that he actually fucked up when another alien shows up to help him out. And this one is a little more gross than Barnabas. This one's a slime monster, but like not a cute slime, not like Minecraft slimes, you know, like they're kind of adorable, you know? No, this one looks like this. Fucking terrifying, I know. So after the dance, of course, Caitlyn was a little upset at Mike, so she kind of cold shouldered him in the hallway earlier in the movie. But she calls him back to apologize to him for doing that. She says that they need to make up and become friends again. And while he's on the phone with her, this ugly ass slime monster is doing the weirdest shit, moaning in my ear, and he eats Mike's burger. He has to ooze it up before he can eat it though. You gotta lube that shit up. It don't go down that easy, I'm telling you right now. But the slime monster being so gross messed up Mike's chance at getting Caitlyn back. But to top it off, the slime burps. Not an ordinary burp, no. When it burps, it steams and screams. Just watch.
Mike?
This is the worst alien on the tier list. This one's at the bottom. F. Hate it. Ugly design. Ugly fucking thing. Disgusting. Nasty. I hate it. This movie was made in the 90s when gross out humor was like the thing it was in. Probably what they were trying to like go in on, but now it's just kind of annoying and weird. I forgot to mention why the slime monster's there. The slime monster's a lawyer. He's there to help Mike out. Apparently Mike has an open and shut case on Earth being a not fit place for people. It's also the worst voiceover I've ever heard in a movie. They obviously added a line in the middle of the conversation.
Shall be subject to exposure to substandard environmental.
But in this conversation with the slime, Mike actually admits that he didn't think the aliens would come. He didn't think he was smart enough to make something that would contact them. So he wasn't actually crying out. And this makes Slime Monster mad. So now the Slime Monster is going to sue him. How does that work? I don't know. Don't ask me. I didn't go to law school. The next scene, we get to see Mike stalking Caitlyn just a little bit of light stalking. Never hurt anybody, right? Anyways, while he's watching her from a distance, Barnabas appears and is like, okay, Mike, it's time to go. We need to leave now. But Barnabas is insisting on him coming. And he's like, you sent out a distress call without having any rhyme or reason to do so. And I just don't understand why you would do that.
Mike Pillsbury, you have opened up a can of worms.
That's the name of the movie. That's the guys. He said he said the name of the movie. He said the name of it. That's why it's called Can of Worms. Oh. So Barnabas talks Mike into going with him to another planet. It would be better for him. He's going to be surrounded by like-minded people, I guess dogs, and he could be himself there and he could be alone there if he really wanted to be. So he decides, sure, I'll go to this other planet, but I want to say goodbye to somebody. He's going to go say goodbye to Caitlyn, but only if it was that easy. Now, I'm going to give this alien the greatest design awards. I thought it was going to be a slug based off the eyes. It is not. He is literally eyes, mouth, and legs. The peak human form. We don't need torsos or arms. Convince me we do. We don't. They just get in the way. I'll admit it. They just get in the way. Not only is this alien weird looking, you cannot guess how this alien sounds. I'm going to give you a second to look at him. Guess what he's going to sound like. He sounds like Doug Dimmadome from the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
How do you do? I wonder if you could spare a few moments of your time. I have an interesting proposition for you.
But he also ruins Mike's last chance with Caitlyn. What a jerk. How does he do this, you may ask? He freezes her in time and teleports him away. For some reason, I don't know why they couldn't just have their conversation on the porch while she was frozen. She obviously wouldn't be able to hear him. Now, every alien up to this point has had a reason to come visit Mike. This one's reason is a little out there, but I respect it. He wants to turn Mike's life into an alien sitcom TV show. What? He thinks Mike's life would be great if they just sent him out in space, took him to random planets, and just, recorded it. Not a bad idea, if you ask me. Take a human that, our small little dumb human brains, take us to another planet, we'll be like... I mean, am I wrong? But obviously Mike says, no, you're crazy, get off me. And then that's how things get ruined because he just teleports off of his crush's porch. The next day, Mike runs into his friend Nick. They haven't talked in a few days, so you know, they're just catching up and stuff. They go up to the treehouse to see his treehouse has a few visitors, if you will. Obviously, each one of these have a purpose for being there. This one wants him to be a salesperson for him to sell a vegetable chopper. You know what the slime's here for. You know what the alien eyeball dude's here for. The pink one is a hooker. The next alien, please. There's one that's like in a jar thing, and it looks like a fucking cell, like a single cell, and it doesn't say anything because it doesn't have a mouth. That's also there. I don't know why it's there. Now, the hooker alien on my tier list says straight to S tier, yes. The other one is maybe a B. Also, eyeball alien is also a B. Now that I think. And Barnabas is S+. So there you go. There's my tier list. There's more aliens coming, but that's what it is for now. Mike goes inside and packs up and gets ready to leave with Barnabas. But right before he leaves, he gets a visit from Caitlyn. She's bringing him pants, I think. I don't know what it is. She is, you know, getting mad at him, yelling at him. And he's just like, I wish I could tell you what's going on, but I can't. Then he does anyways. So he tells her there's aliens in his backyard and he's going to leave for another planet. And she's like, okay, yeah, sure, fine, yeah, okay. Mike apologizes to Caitlyn and then lets her know that she is the only reason why he wanted to stay there. And so when she got mad at him and stopped talking to him, that was his only reason to stay. So now he's leaving. So Mike and Nick go outside and Mike asks the aliens, who wants me? Which one wants to take me to their planet? Of course, they all start fighting over him. They're trying to convince him to come with them when Barnabas appears to help him out. But after Barnabas appears, Caitlyn comes outside to check on Mike one more time just to make sure he's okay because he seems a little crazy right now. And she sees the aliens for herself and she suddenly believes. And as she comes outside, they get attacked by what's called a Thode. Barnabas lets us know that Thode is a creature that is kind of like the Collector from Guardians of the Galaxy. They come to different planets and they take aliens, the perfect specimens from each planet, and put them on display in their house. So they all get a safe distance away from the treehouse, except for the little boy earlier in the movie that Mike was telling stories to. Yeah, he thinks Mike is in the treehouse for some reason, I don't know, and gets sucked up into the Thode's home in kind of a funny way. The tongue, it's just a long tongue. After that happens, Mike is like, we have to go save him. We have to get him out of there. Is there like any way like the galactic police can come arrest him or something? And Barnabas lets him know that as long as he's in his own house on his own planet, there's nothing they can do. And there's a chance that he won't even come back or come out of his planet to come grab another specimen. But there is a chance because he grabbed a little boy and usually he would like adults, I guess. I don't know. I guess he's not a pedophile after all. They would just need the perfect specimen. And this gives Mike a plan. So Mike dresses Nick up in an alien costume to go get Scott and tell him to come outside to fight him, I guess. But I just have to say, Mike, you're obsessed with aliens. You've been seeing them for like 3 whole days already in this movie. And this is the best alien costume you can come up with? Really? It's a pig mask and gloves? Are you could do a little bit better. Anyways, Nick tells Scott that Mike is calling him out so he can come outside and fight him. And he also tells him that Caitlyn's there to watch. So obviously he's gonna go outside. And once they make it outside, everybody catches Scott up to the plan, you know, tell him about the alien race thing and that they need him to be bait so that they can get this alien monster and arrest him. Obviously, Scott does not believe them, and obviously he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. That is until Mike bets him to do it. If you ever want a boy to do anything, you just bet him to do it. I bet you won't be bait for this random ass alien I don't even know what it looks like. I just learned about it 5 seconds ago, and they'll be like, fucking bet. So the plan is on, and the plan works flawlessly, actually. But the Thode grabs Scott and sucks him in, and then everybody runs in after them. But the gate was open for like a good 30 seconds before they did that. Could they not just run in while the gate was open? I don't know. I don't know how that works. They somehow end up in a different spot than Scott, even though they went through the same door as him. Also doesn't make sense to me. But they're in the Thode's zoo, as he calls it. And now we're in a zoo full of aliens, so we get to see cool aliens like a T-Rex skull, that is. So on a serious note, we do get to see some more aliens. So now they're looking for the Thode throughout his house, and his house looks more like a zoo than the zoo exhibits. It's just like filled with trees and grass and vines. But they find the main gate for the cages, and it's just crystals on this little pedestal thing. And then they finally get to look around at some of the cool aliens, and one of them is just like a meteor. He's actually kind of cute. He's kind of adorable. He's also an S tier, in my opinion. Apparently he's silicone based? What? How? Then there's this one with the long elf ears. I would give him like, let's move the other guys on B down to C. Let's put him on B. He's just kind of weird. The ears are too big. But Mike promises the long-eared one that he's going to get him out of there. He's going to help him and save him. Lord knows how long he's been in there, honestly. They find the cage that the boys are in. Then we get to meet the Thode, the villain of the movie. And he is a human. Looks like a human. But they need the key around the Thode's neck in order to open up the gate and let all the aliens free. And it turns out the Thode was trying to steal Mike, but missed twice. Great aim, kid. How? But the Thode threatens literally all of them. He doesn't have a puppy in, apparently, so he's planning on taking Barnabas. And he also doesn't have a female human, so he's gonna take Caitlyn. And his main target is Mike, so yeah. And Nick is just there. But after his monologue, he actually turns into like kind of a freaky creature. I guess it's supposed to be kind of like a frog, but he has like a shell, kind of like a turtle in a way. It's just like a hard back. I don't know how to explain it. Just look at him. He looks weird. He's a weird looking guy. The crew run and hide from the Thode. That is until Mike looks up and spots something. The Thode comes in the room and Mike shows himself and is like, hey, let's just talk things out, you know? Let's just be nice. And then somehow the rest of the crew look up and see what he saw, but they don't let us see what they saw. And they run to this rope that's on the other side of the room. And Mike lures the Thode in very slowly. And there's just a cage hanging from the ceiling in the room. You know, the cage everyone has in their house, just hanging from the ceiling. So they trap him in his own cage. But while he's in the cage, they decide they're gonna snatch the key from his neck and go let all the aliens free. So now they have the key and they're gonna go save the boys, but first they need to save the long-eared alien. Mike's like, I don't know how to open this thing. There has to be like some kind of way to put this key in. And the long-eared dude uses telepathy and tells him a secret code to open the doors. And it's just hovering the key in certain parts of the window that open it like a gate. But after that, they go let the boys free, of course. And that's not the last of the Thode. They still have the Thode to worry about. The only way to escape is to go back through the Thode gate, which is the gate that they used to get here. But I thought only the Thode could open the Thode gate. So maybe the key let them open it. I don't understand how this gate system works in this movie. But before they can find and open the gate, Mike decides he has to let the rest of them free. And then he just knows the password to let them all free from the main console magically, because he's a genius. But they find the gate and they make it home. They all made it through and the gate didn't disappear because somebody else is in it. So they're prepared for the Thode to come through the gate to capture Mike. Obviously now he's way more mad than he was before because Mike just let all of his aliens free. But now the Thode's outside of his home planet and can get arrested. So Barnabas decides he's gonna call the police before he gets there. The line's busy. The space line is busy. It's so dangerous out there. So Mike decides he's gonna go hand to hand with the Thode and actually threatens him by saying, we eat frog legs. I have never partaked in the delicacy known as frog legs, but people do eat them and that's weird. Please don't eat frog legs. The Thode grabs Mike's leg and starts pulling him in through the Stargate. So everybody grabs Mike and starts pulling him back the other way. Barnabas starts barking at him and the police come to save the day. One police officer comes to save the day. And then the Thode just gives up. Doesn't try to fight the police officer at all. He's just like, oh man. So the Thode gets put in handcuffs. The slime monster tries to become the Thode's lawyer because he's a scummy bastard and the cop wants an explanation. So the camera pans out while they're all telling the cop what happened. And then the very last scene in the movie, it's another football game, but Barnabas comes to visit Mike during the game and lets Mike know that Earth is now a protected planet again, that the cops accepted the excuse that it was accidental and that they don't know how they made it happen. So no aliens are allowed back on planet Earth until they figure out how to communicate with them again. So Mike thanks Barnabas for everything he's done for him, and Barnabas offers him one last chance to come to his planet and live with him. And Mike decides to stay on Earth because it's his home. Even though it doesn't always feel like it, it is his home. Aww, very sweet. I would take the chance to at least visit the planet. I would like try to talk him into it, like, just let me come feel around, because you know how cool that would be? People would think you're insane if you're like, yeah, I went to this alien planet and it was just full of dogs that had these collars that talked to me. It was sick. People would think you were crazy, but it would be very cool. Also, Barnabas has never been pet before, and Mike pet him, and it was cute. I don't know. I just liked that scene. And that was the end of the movie. So this was Can of Worms. Definitely the weirdest Disney Channel movie I've ever seen or heard of, but if you know a weirder one, let me know in the comments below. If you have any movie recommendations or video recommendations you'd like to see me do, let me know in the comments below as well. Like the video if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you want to. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all, and peace.